Welcome to another episode of Idea Dream Home Season 5. I am sure even a child will have a dream home in their mind. To make it a reality, we can take the help of our architects. So let me introduce our architects. Anna Kurivila, Arun Vidyasagar. So we'll see the clippings. That is Krishna house from Cherthala.
Hello friends, welcome to Idea Dream Home Season 5. I'm standing at Krishna house in Cherthala, Alappuzha district. It's a 4,100 square feet house built on Kerala, typical Kerala traditional style. Stone pathway and lawns on both sides welcomes you in. To build the house in Kerala traditional style, it's high elevated, the dome-like structure traditionally done. Then the lower side, the side walls have been done with stone cladding. I see a lot of sit-out area too. So let's go in there. A spacious sit-out area is provided right at the entrance. It's a good enough space. The slabs used for sitting are lapata granite. The same material has been used for flooring too. Then on the side walls they have done stone cladding. I see a lot of windows too, a lot of huge window frames. So I believe they have made proper provision for ventilation inside. So let's go in and check out the interiors now. The drawing room is built one step down from the other area. This is the formal as well as the informal place. Works as a family lounge to the TV wing area. To talk about this room, two things that needs to be mentioned. First is the elevation. It's a high elevated room. Second is the ventilation. Both sides the windows that you see, roller blinds cover it. So ample amount of ventilation comes in. There's something that needs to be taken care of while building the house according to Vastu, and they have done it quite nicely. To talk about elevation, space, then ventilation. All this have been clubbed together. On my right is the dining area, very spacious enough, and this the vacant space that you see. That leads us to the master bedroom space. Opposite to me is the staircase that takes us to the upper floor. The color scheme of the master bedroom has been kept light. They have mostly used purple colors. The roller blends are purple and the curtains have been provided with purple color. Then elevation and ventilation, which you saw in the earlier rooms, this has been taken care of in this room as well. For ventilation, you have a huge window frame right there. It also gives a visual to the outside lawn. Then windows on both sides. The flooring uses wooden. They also have a dressing area that's attached to the bathroom. They have painted the background wall to give it a colorful feel. Actually, the entire room is in the blue color theme. Then the flooring used is wooden. Opposite to me is the bathroom. The staircase is designed in such a manner that the whole area is not used up, unlike what we see in most places. The dining area has a royal feel attached to it. All credit goes to the teak wood frames, the chairs used, like nice cushion chairs, then a large teak wood table with glass top. The flooring used in the entire space is vertified tiles. That goes same for the dining table as well as the living area. For ventilation, they have huge window frames on either sides of the wall. Then this is the crockery shelf. Good crockery shelf with a lot of cabinets. They also have an openable pantry space. The kitchen room is right here. Let's go in. This is a very spacious kitchen. They have actually made the cooking area and the work area separate. This entire space is used for cooking purposes. Below they have been provided with the wooden cabinets. The breakfast table separates the both areas. That area, a lot of cabinets are there to store in the utensils and everything. Then granite slab have been provided. Even the flooring is granite. That door leads us to a little storage space. They have a car parking area at the back side of the house, and beneath this is a huge water storage capacity. It can store approximately 1.5 lakh liters of water. And right next to it is a national pond. They have maintained a well spacious enough pond. So that was all about Krishna House from Cherthala. This is me, Abel, signing off.
So that is Krishna House from Cherthala. It is a 4,100 square feet 4-bedroom house. So let's hear the comments. Anna, moving on to the exterior landscape form and character.
Landscape here, you see a lot of plants in pots. When you keep different potted plants, try to keep the similar kind of plants. So that will bring in some sort of, it will tie together. If you keep different plants, you don't get that. The building is well placed in the site, like it is at a good distance from the gate. You feel very impressive, that whole thing. There are a lot of columns. In the sit out, they have a very practical sit out tucked into one side. What happens there is the column size suddenly decreases when you reach the sit out. Then they have gone overboard with the cladding stone. They could have used it a little less. And the windows are small. They could have had bigger windows. They have a beautiful big plot in front. They've tucked away the car porch to one side, so it's not the first thing that you see. So all those things are good. Overall it's an okay, impressive house from outside.
Arun, your opinion?
They have a big site, and they've used the grand space in the front to create all the drama. They haven't added any extra larger trees there, but instead they just continued the whole thing on the ground with a lawn and potted plant landscaping mainly on the edges. The paving is looking good. Means they have not gone for the typical glossy cement pavers. They have gone for the matte type cement concrete pavers. It gives you good, and the pattern is also refreshing. It's not a very common pattern. The driveway is looking interesting. And then when you reach the house has got slopes as the predominant character. They have got 3 portico kind of structures, and I think 3 of them have a seating space. So this is an interesting thing. The house in the form looks very simple. They've used the slopes. It doesn't have a specific traditional character or even a colonial character. They've just gone for the portico with flat gables in front.
Now coming to the interior, flooring and kitchen.
When you enter into the living room, what you see is the back side of the sofa. They've got a beautiful wall that, and this they've used that for just keeping 2 curio cabinets.
Okay.
I would always suggest, if there's a big wall, put your heaviest furniture there. Here, the sofa. That makes the living room more inviting. Okay. Here it's like it's blocking. Then if you notice, they've put different kinds of tiles in between. Go for something similar, same color. Too many things makes it very confusing. The house is good, but the interiors, they have space. It's not that it's congested. Just have to rework the furniture part.
Your remarks?
seeing the back of the sofa is not that appealing. Like she was telling, they could have always put it onto the wall, so that that part is covered out, and smaller seats come into the passages and open areas where people walk through. Then the next thing I noticed is 2 single cabinets standing in the way. It should be moved away to some corner or into some other space where it feels connected. They shouldn't be there like how it's staying. Then when you move across, the staircase has got a very different handrail detail altogether.
Okay.
Probably a little bit of wood would have changed the whole thing. The steel and the glass and things like that, it's standing out like anything. Kitchen is really big. They've kind of joined the work area and the kitchen together. There are a lot of cabinets, wooden cabinets. It's done completely in wood. The tiles on the walls also look neat. They've gone for slightly greyish granite on the floor. That's also interesting, but I hope it's not that slippery. Then they got beds which are really gaudy looking, heavy headboards and orange curtains. And the next room we see purple curtains. So this I don't know how it works out. It's a personal choice. And again, wall pattern in the staircase, it's made that area very dark. Should have been little more lighter. The staircase does stand out well, but that area becomes very dark because of the light reflected from there.
I have a point to add about the staircase. Many people have a fascination for the spiral staircase. That is usually done when there is a space constraint. I don't think there is actually a space constraint when it comes to this house.
Now coming to the color, decor and lighting.
Color is kind of basic in the living areas. Whatever they have done is, no, in the living area actually you find an orange curtain. But other than that, you don't see anything. And what they have done, the only thing they have done is they have gone for a yellow paint in the area below the lintel. And the next dark shade is on the staircase side wall. And then comes the bedrooms, where they have tried with all sorts of colors. You find blue, you find purple, you find the color of the bed sheets. And it's like a big, messy area. Means they should try and keep it low on the sleeping area. If the colors are very loud, whenever there is light, you feel like moving out fast. So you need pleasant shades in the bedroom to be there. So same thing is continued everywhere. There is no striking color differences other than the curtains. I think the curtains only steal the show.
And Anna?
In terms of pieces, the dining table is very high, the beds are very heavy, and they have combined all this with very strong colored curtains. They are not curtains, they are Roman blinds. The thing is, I wouldn't suggest a Roman blind for a French window. So either you can pull it down, or it's all up. Had they put shears on it, it would have got and still they could have had that orange on the sides and something lighter in between. It would have given a sense of airiness. Now it looks very overpowering and doesn't really match with the wall color. They just bring a sheer curtain over this Roman blind. It might do wonders.
It cuts the light completely. So dense that it cuts the light.
Okay. Now coming to the overall ambience.
Ambience is just pleasant. I mean, exteriors is much better compared to the interiors. Exteriors has got a very classy nature altogether. It's situated in such a way that you drive down to the front of the house. It's got 3 well-positioned porticos, dividing the whole thing into 2 parts.
Okay.
And the roofing is also very simple. The external ambience oversees the internal ambience. Internal needs to be a little more worked on. They can definitely change the whole thing by just changing the curtains and probably repositioning the furniture. That's the only thing probably that will be needed. So I think ambience is just average.
Then the grand look of the house, it's not actually supported inside the house. The interiors the soft furnishings actually don't support it. So overall, that makes the whole thing into an average one. Otherwise, from outside, it looks pretty decent.
So Anna, how much you want to give for exterior landscape, form and character?
The building is well set and it looks pretty impressive from outside. The car porch is tucked away. I've given them 18 on 25.
Arun?
Again, like what she was telling, the building is well positioned, very put back, and the driveway creates a good space in the front. and the landscape is done minimal, which I should say should have been dealt with little more interest. Along with that, I think the cladding and little small characters on the exterior, which should have been updated to match with the overall size and the distance from the gate and everything, is not dealt that well. So I will give 19.
Anna, now for the interior flooring and kitchen.
Kitchen is spacious. They have it's by combining both work area and kitchen, it's looking even more bigger. But the layout of the spatial planning inside the house needs to be worked upon. I've given them 16 on 25.
And you?
I think I also have the same things to say. Some stuff can be changed very easily without even doing anything to the house, which I think they should do, and change the whole ambience altogether. They should do that and then see what changes they can do after the change of furniture. Next thing would be the blinds and things like that, which stand out very shockingly. So the whole thing has to be reworked by just changing positions and then overlooking it once again. I think I will give 17 on 20.
And for the color decor and lighting?
In this house, they are experimental. They've tried a lot of colors. When you're doing a bold color, try to combine it with a light color. And when you do two bold colors together, it is very jarring. So I've given 16 on 25.
And Arun?
I have the same things to say again. The colors have to be carefully picked, and it's not in the living room that you do colors like orange for the curtain. Even however wild you think, you cannot bring orange as a curtain color. You have to let in light again. So they should think on those lines. And other than that, they have gone for a dark colored sofa, which again kind of blocks the whole. It becomes looking very massive.
Okay.
So they can always think about a change in color for that in the near future. And I think this scenario has to be continued throughout the house.
Okay.
Wherever they have gone for drastically different colors, they can actually think about changing it. So I would say I would give 17.
Okay. And for overall ambience?
Overall ambience, the exterior gets more marks than the interiors. I would give them 17.
Arun?
Again, exterior gets more importance and quality compared to the interiors. I have given more importance to the exterior for this project.
Okay.
I think 19 is possible.
So Krishna house from Cherthala secures 67 from Anna, 72 from Arun and 35 from public, and that makes a total of 174 out of 250. That's all for today. See you in our next episode. Stay tuned.